Coach Kramer here, and today I want to share with you 3 big keys when it comes to running youth basketball camps this summer. And when you come into youth basketball camps, you have to be able to keep it fresh, right? You have to have a great pace, a great energy. That comes from the coach, that comes from the lesson plan. You know, for me, when I'm traveling around, majority of the summer is spent with high school basketball players and then middle school basketball players, and the least amount of time we'll spend is that 3rd and 4th grade. We don't do anything before that. Most of our camps are 5th grade to 8th grade and then 9th grade to 12th grade, but we do a few in Michigan and South Carolina where we're working with some 3rd and 4th graders in there. So the number one thing you got to think about is what's that pace of camp. That pace of camp is huge. The energy that a coach has is big, right? And then also the lesson plan of how are we able to keep this camp moving along. You can't do anything for an extended period of time, right? We have to be able to hold that player's attention. And it doesn't mean you got to bump from ball handling into shooting into finishing. You could, but it could be how do we change things up and keep it moving. You know, so you might say, okay, we want to work on weak hand dribbling, right? You want to work on everybody's weak hand. So that could look a million different ways, right? That could be dribble tag. That could be a stationary time drill. That could be a drill on the move. That could be a drill where you're counting numbers right off somebody's hand. It could be a ton of different ways, right? The players, compared to just working on the left hand, if you're able to go, hey, we're going to go 5 minutes of dribble tag, you do a few different variations. Cool. All right. Now we're going to do partner counting, right? Left hand, V, pound, V, but at the same time, I'm calling out numbers of my partner. They're holding fingers up, right? You could do some speed ball handling, right? Sideline to sideline. You could incorporate finishing with it, right? Dribble around the wing, left hand layup, back around the wing. How many makes in 30 seconds or a minute? So the emphasis is left hand. The emphasis is handling the basketball, but we can attack it in so many different ways. And that's the pace that you want to be able to have, is being able to keep things moving, keep things fresh, even if the overall point of emphasis is still remaining the same. Could be shooting, ball handling, whatever it might be. I mean, there's camps where, you know, we might spend an hour on the topic of ball handling or handling the ball against pressure, but it's not bland because we're keeping things moving, right? So, it could be a million different variations to how we want to work on and drill and gamify handling the basketball against pressure. So that hour flies by and you're like, man, guys, great work. We're an hour in. Kids can't believe it. Man, we're an hour in already. We've been here out. Yeah, you guys have been working hard. We've been having fun, but the pace of camp is absolutely huge. Second thing, you want to make sure if you're running a good camp, you're giving the players an idea of what they can do on their own. And I've been to some camps and I've heard of some other coaches and they run a heck of a camp, but you have to add in the application for when you go home. Have to, right? Because that's where players are made. It's great that they've made that decision to come to your basketball camp and work on their game, right? But if you don't give the players the tools to become better, if they're by themselves in a driveway like this, right, in my opinion, you haven't given them everything that they deserve from coming to that camp. You might run a great small-sided games camp, all different little variations and multiplayer drills and partner stuff. But when that kid goes back home, they're fired up about the game. They want to keep getting better. And they have a hoop out in their yard and they have a ball and there's no one around. Did you give them anything to keep working on, right? Because those, in my opinion, you know, we talk about, you know, coaching styles and we you know, what makes a great player. You know, I think as coaches, we give ourselves too much credit. You know, a coach can make a great impact, no doubt about it, but you can't make the impact that player can make on themselves. right? And so as a coach, it's important that we give them 10 or 11 opportunities and knowledge and drills at that camp that then they can take back and do the driveway. We have what I call driveway drills. So let's say we have a group in for an hour or 3 hours. All right, say we have a group coming in for 3 hours. We might do an hour of what I call driveway drills. And driveway drills are things they can do by themselves or with only one other person. We'll do at least an hour of that out of the 3 at these camps, right? So that now, yes, we've done small-sided games, we've done random practice, block practice, variable practice, we've done some game-based drills, but at the end of the day, when those players finish their camp and they go home, they know how they can continue to practice, right, when no one else is around. And that's a huge, huge benefit for them, right? So we've talked about the pace and keeping things moving. We've talked about giving them things they can do on their own to keep improving. And then the last thing is, how does fun flow into that? Because when you're dealing with young kids, you're one of the first impressions they have on a game. Whether you're the varsity coach running a program, whether you're a basketball trainer like myself, somebody's bringing you in to work with their players, you have dramatic impact in whether they want to keep playing basketball down the road or not. And so fun shouldn't be the goal. It should be an automatic result of all the things that we've done. They're still having fun with it, right? They're still having fun with it because I want to foster the enjoyment for the game. Because at a young age, if they like basketball, they're more likely to come to the next camp. They're more likely to take this ball in the hoop and play by themselves in the driveway because we gave them a positive experience. We've had kids that have never played basketball before, picked up basketball late, but they've jumped into our program to give it a try. They're playing softball, they're playing soccer, whatever it might be, and they'll finish with us. And all of a sudden, basketball is their favorite sport. Why? Well, yeah, we have the pace. Yeah, we're teaching them the game, showing them things they can do by themselves or with a friend. But we also positive learning environment, and we're really concentrating on making sure that they have fun. All right? No one's taking themselves too seriously. Of course we're going to get after it. Of course we're going to work hard. But if you can't enjoy this game, why are we doing it? All right? Especially when you're 9 years old, enjoy that game. Foster that love for the game at a young age and watch it continue to grow and bloom as players get older and they continue to take, more accountability and responsibility over their game. I'm swishing it so well, I'm knocking my own hoop down. I hope that makes sense as you were able to follow along. We want to make sure there's great pace and energy to our camps. We want to make sure we're giving them the tools to not just get better when they're in a group, but when they're by themselves. And then 3, we want to make sure that we're having fun regardless of what it is that we're working on. Get after it.